I also give it years of experience to just boost its ego.
Yeah.
Artificial ego, by the way.
No, good one.
Yeah, so I tell it that you have like 70 years of experience in all of this. You are well versed. You are an expert, right? And now when it responds to you,
it want to evaluate
you can even
using the
see-
70 years.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
It will take the role of someone with that amount of experience.
Wow. Views overall, or in terms of people who use TikTok in Africa, South Africa alone specifically.
Yeah.
I think we are the leading one. I think Nigeria would be second in that, in everything that South Africa does. Forgive me.
I want to punch. What we must do is to say, okay, if as we are seeing, automation is becoming the go-to thing in industries, what we must do is to upskill and now try and learn how to actually make be relevant, even if the automation is still there. Because what automation does, it doesn't automate everything.
Oh yes.
Yeah, like it doesn't automate everything. There is manual process involved still, because those machines, they need to be repaired.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They need to be configured in a certain way to suit the particular thing that they're doing, the particular task they're doing. They need to be monitored, right? For effectiveness. There are checks that are being done.
Yes.
So people must actually find a way around it. Take your time to write your prompt. People are rushing to write prompts. You want because you know, our generation, we get things very quickly, and we don't want to spend time.
Someone once said we are a 2 minutes
we are.
generation.
Yes, we are. We want instant things.
Yeah.
We want it like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It's your boy Ayabulela Mnguni, and we are back yet again with another amazing episode. It's your host Ayabulela, and I'm not alone. I'm with Samukelo Mnguni, my brother. Welcome back to the show, my man.
No, thanks, man. It's good to be back.
It has been how long? It has been how long?
2 years, I think.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
2 years, man.
Back by popular demand.
Yeah, we're back.
So it turns out our viewers love you, man.
I'm glad they do, and I'm happy. Actually, when you texted me and told me about that, I was really grateful. I was like, I didn't even think.
I'm telling you, man. So I'm like, I'm taking my screenshots like, I have to show this person. Like, bruh, these people want you back, man.
I couldn't even believe those screenshots. Like,
yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
I thought people hate me.
No way.
Just kidding.
Not here. So it turns out we love tech. We love conversations. We love smartness that is revolving around this young man.
Thanks for the compliment.
You have to take it. You have to take it.
I'm really taking it. Yeah, I'm glad people love tech and the conversations that we've had, which is it's very great, to know that people are actually opening up to tech, because tech, normally when people think about tech, they think it's this complex
of
thing.
Course, man, like it's for nerds.
It's for nerds.
Yeah, bora.
Yeah.
I think
it's actually exciting.
I think credits to you, Nakona, on how you make it look or how you break it down, Nakona. It's interesting.
It is.
It's interesting.
It is. I think previously people didn't do much justice in it. I don't know. People get too technical about tech, and sometimes just use simple language, layman's language, and people will understand.
It's the same as mathematics. You know what? If mathematics was brought in the most interesting and funny way, I think all of us would be.
All of us.
Nah, man.
All of us. All of us. The seriousness of it makes it unattractive.
It takes away from.
Yeah, it takes away a lot.
Right.
So, yeah. But I'm glad to be back, and hopefully we'll have great conversations today.
Of course. What's going on? Oh, crazy things are moving around.
Yeah.
So we had this. The last time you were here, you were still a student.
Oh yeah.
You were still a student studying finance, right?
Yes.
Take us through that, man. Where is Samukelo right now?
Hey, my
spoiler
brother.
alert, he's a graduate.
So I think last time I was here, I was doing my third year. Yes. And yeah, man, I managed to hopefully finish all the modules that I had and finish in record time.
Of course.
I don't want
Look
this
at
to
him
sound-
being subtle about it.
I don't really want to look like, I'm trying to.
Nah, man. You did this.
But I'm taking
You
the
made
win,
it.
guys.
Yeah.
I'm taking the win. So yeah, I think
A win is a win.
the journey from then to now was that yes, I graduated, and I graduated with a distinction actually.
Pop.
Yes, so
I wish, guys,
we had that.
we should get that thing here so that I have to press something. Next time when you come back, I'll be pressing something there.
Yeah, so that was the journey, and it was quite tough because I had that goal in mind that I want to graduate with a distinction, but now I was busy with a lot of things. I think last time we spoke, I did say I was doing some tech courses.
Yes.
Right, in running in parallel with my studies, right? So yeah, I was able to juggle everything. And
managed to get
distinctions. Yes, I did. And remember, these are two separate fields.
Yeah.
Now it's finance, and now it's data and tech. So
Yeah.
it was a great journey. And then what happened post school was because I was doing my third year, and I started applying as early as possible. Trying to transition to tech. And it was that was a tough one.
So wait, you are doing finance at school?
Yes.
In tertiary, and then you're also doing tech on the side.
On the side, yes.
So where was the transition from finance, or the other way around?
From finance.
Okay.
Yes, from finance. So what happened is I found interest in data because remember, finance has a lot of data they use. So financial data, I used to use Excel and some of those tools to actually make sense of it, right?
Yeah.
Then that's how I fell in love with data analytics, and I went into tech full force.
Phakathi.
Phakathi.
How was because I think it was your first time being in the workplace, right?
Yes.
For a young person, man, who's this is post school, post tertiary, post grad, now you're entering a workplace. Totally different environment.
Totally different. And I think I should, take you through the journey of the actual transitioning.
Okay.
Because normally, as everyone knows, that when you study a particular degree or qualification, you're mostly focusing on jobs that revolve around it.
Yes.
And I think
because one would think you'd be an accountant.
I'd be a financial analyst, I'd be an investment banker, all of those careers that are directly linked to my qualification, right? But I took a different route, and it was tough because now I'm asking myself, how do employers view me? Because you'll find that there's a post and it says a degree in computer science, a degree in IT, BSc in IT, and all of those informatics and all of those type of degrees. So for me, at first it was intimidating, right? Of course. Because now there's this competition that I have. Because
of people who are actually doing that at the highest level.
At the highest level. I mean, someone with a comp sci degree, computer science degree, has more weight than you with a finance qualification. That is not even related to the field that you're trying to enter into. Right. So I had to face adversity. And I think what helped me was the people around me, because I had people that are already in the space. And I think they encouraged me, and they, so they told me that, no, like you are really skilled, and you have a huge amount of passion for what you're doing, right? And all of that just, gave me the power. And the people that were around me, of course, family, friends, everyone that supported me during that journey. And it was really tough. So I applied. Got a lot of rejections, guys. Got a lot of rejections. I was even used to that. Unfortunately. So it was.
We are sad to inform you. Yeah, we regret to inform you.
And in my head, I was like, maybe it's the problem of the qualification. Right? And you know how that can take a toll on your confidence.
Of course.
It can. But what I did was I continued building projects, continued increasing my skills, and
So you are building projects now as a freelancer or on your own time or something?
okay. So let me break this down to even someone who's watching now
Please.
who's
See, that's why we love you. You break it down for us, man.
I think who wants to get into transition into IT from a different field, right? So basically, certificates are not enough. That I'll tell you, they're not enough because
Qualifications or certificates?
so in tech, right?
Okay.
There are these big tech companies like your Microsoft, your AWS, Amazon Web Services, and your Google, right? Those
tech
companies,
giants,
those tech giants, they have certifications for their technology.
Okay.
Right. So for an example, you'll find that you are a certified Google Cloud, practitioner or cloud engineer or whatever the case may be. So those are the certifications I'm talking about. And some of the most popular ones are the A+, the C something.
Oh yes.
For cybersecurity and for tech support, right? So those certifications are not actual formal qualifications.
Oh,
it's like a certificate that you take. So you will study, right? There's course material. There's maybe a learning management system, which is a website that you can use to learn on your own. So they call it a learning management system. It's an LMS. So on that website, you access content on demand. Right. Whenever you have time to do it, you do it. You watch videos. There's some notes and all of those things.
So you get like objectives, and then you have to finish those objectives.
You have to finish
projects.
Those. Yes. Wow. Then after.
What's the site again?
The site.
Yeah.
No. So let me just explain this. Right. Okay. So there are various sites in which there are people that are providing these certifications, right? It depends on the vendor who's offering it. Yeah. So I have a list of the popular ones which we'll talk about, right? But I think now we should try and have clarity on how this thing works.
Right.
So you take that course, right? You do you watch those videos and that content. After doing that content, it becomes a state of where now you get a certification of completion. That means you completed the content. That doesn't mean you are certified in what.
Yeah.
Right? Then you write the exam. The exam is the important one where you get certified for a particular a tool, for example. So for me, let me just project it to me to make it simple. I did the financial modeling and valuation analyst certification.
Okay.
So that you become a certified financial analyst when you complete that. So doing the course, you just get a certificate of completion. But writing the exam...
upon completion, you have to write the exam.
Yes. You have to write the exam. Then the exam certifies you in that particular area.
So it is when you get a proper admission into whatever study that you are doing.
Yes. Now it's credible. Yeah, it's credible. It's a certification. And obviously, it's a international certification. Everyone writes the same exam that you're writing. And there's a pass mark. Usually 70%, 75%, that's their pass mark, basically. So you need to get that. Then after that, you become a certified, maybe DevOps engineer, data engineer, all of those things.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the transitioning. So I did those certifications, got certified on being a financial analyst as well as a business intelligence and data analyst. Then after I did that, I realized that is not enough. People can't see what I can do because anyone can take an exam and pass, but do you actually know the skill? Can you actually build something?
Because a lot of us have something on paper, but we haven't put it into application.
Exactly.
Man.
And IT is practical. So it's hands-on.
It can be like, hey, I'm qualified.
It doesn't matter how much you remember, but what you are building, because we're always building something.
And keeping up with the technology.
Yes. So that's when I was like, okay, let me just build something so that I can like build the credibility so that people can see that this person knows how to work with data.
So now it is taking you into an invention of some sort.
Not
building up on something that's already been there.
Yes, building up on something. So I did an end-to-end project whereby I started by extracting the data, cleaning it, then visualizing it, right? And after doing that, I took everything on GitHub right? GitHub is sort of a platform where people that are in software, in any tech related industry, where they showcase their work, where they build something and they share it with everyone. It has a very large community. So there's a lot of experts there that are building stuff and also exposing it to everyone so they can see their code base.
It's a hub of some sort.
Yes, it's a hub of some sort.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
So uploaded it on GitHub. Then I created a website for presenting myself. It is called a portfolio website, where there's your name and what you have done, basically what you're about, what certifications you have, your education background, and also now the project that you have built. So on my website I had a link that takes you to my work so that you can see it. So I took that link into my CV.
What did we call that? On the basic HTML that we used to do.
Oh yeah,
what was
like
it?
that.
I remember
like
when we did coding, robotics.
Exactly. I remember we did build a page.
We
did.
Yes,
we did.
The way we
HTML.
usually write our names.
Yeah, our names and all of that.
I think what CSS one, the one that
CSS is for styling.
It's for styling.
Yes, it's for styling. It's for the look.
Yes,
because when you're writing HTML, it's basically text. That's why it's called hypertext markup language, right? It's mostly text. Then when you put CSS in, you
make it special in a way.
Yes, how it looks. You know, the different colors and the shapes and everything. So that's CSS. So basically, I did something like that. A presentation website doesn't have any logic behind it. It's just for presentation for you to click around and. So it took people to actually the projects that I've built. So I put that on my CV.
Oh,
yes, as a link.
Okay.
So when I'm presenting myself, I'm like, I'm so and so. I did this qualification,
and you can click here to see.
And you can click here to see my project. So that gave me credibility. So I think the hiring manager, when they were looking at,
this man is not just a man on paper. He also can do what. Okay.
That's how I got invited for an interview.
Wow.
And for the,
what was the period, man? Forgive me. What was the period? In all of this. This is post grad. Did stay like a year, months, weeks?
Okay, so as I said, I was very proactive with my approach. I started applying for jobs actually when I was during my second year because I had a couple of certifications. Yes. I even got an interview at some point and I couldn't follow through because I was doing my third year the next year and it was a full-time internship. So I couldn't do it. It was not possible for me to do it. So I had to. Yes, it was. It was
ambitious.
It was very ambitious of me. And the thing is, they thought I'm on my third year now.
Oh, okay.
So I think I did my magic.
So it's like it's like a correct thing coming at the wrong time.
Yes, I was really.
I can imagine.
I was really hurt, man.
Yeah.
I was like, if I started my qualification in 2020, yes, I would have been covered. But opportunities come and go. So that's what happened.
It's always a greater picture and
if we look at right now on my third year, I think I started also applying there. Okay. Then I got the interview during my third year. So I was still in school while I was doing those interviews. It was hard in field because the rest is loud and people are talking and you can't tell people that I'm doing an interview and all of that.
You can't. Everyone is there doing
their own thing. Yeah. So I had to get some space and do the interviews. So when I was doing the interview, what I noticed was that the people that were there, especially the technical part of the interview, they actually looked at my project. So most of the questions were based on it.
Oh yes.
And there was a couple of mistakes though in my project. I wanted to fix them, but it was strategic for me to leave them there.
Okay.
So that we can talk about it. Right? They were like, okay, we saw this, this on your project, and now that's not correct.
Take us through it,
Yes. And then I took them through a solution.
Oh yeah.
Yes, through a solution live. A live solution.
It's giving if you wanna conquer your enemy, give him a problem and solve it for him.
Exactly. So I used that approach because I realized that I made a mistake somewhere, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna fix it, I'm gonna leave it there. Then they picked up on it,
and then you bring the solution.
Yes, then I bring the solution.
Conniving.
Yes. So that's how I was able to get in. And mind you, that the tech industry, the people who are doing computer science, all of those things.
It's broad.
Yes, that was the competition that I was against. So
And these are people who did that at the tertiary level.
at a tertiary level, they, I mean, they know they're well versed.
Yeah,
But I wasn't intimidated, man. I
course,
was
man.
like, I can do what they can do better.
Yeah.
You know,
And here you are.
here I am. I got the internship, and as soon as I finished my third year, the following February, the next year after completing the qualification, then I started my internship. I think it was only 1 month that I stayed at home.
Yeah.
Then the following month, I
Workplace.
started my internship.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So-
That was just the transition alone.
yes.
Bruh.
Yes.
That's
yes.
crazy.
That was the first part of it.
I like how you visualize it.
Mhm.
You applied yourself to it,
Mhm.
right? Against all odds, you're like, okay, this is what I want.
Yes.
I'm gonna achieve it, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think I believed in myself,
Mhm.
and I knew that somehow an opportunity might come knocking, and I have to open and embrace it.
Yeah. Now, to someone at home who's confident in themselves, right? But there's a risk about confidence because it can be viewed as being egotistic,
Yes.
arrogant, right? How do you then maneuver that? Because you have someone at home, you have someone in the black community. It's like, I want to be 1, 2, 3. Like,
Yes.
no, I'm you
Yes,
see.
yes.
So what would you say to someone like this, someone who's a visionary, someone who see a greater future for them, but where they are, there's just negativity.
Yeah, I think we live in that world. We all have experienced it, right? And I think yes, there's a fine line between being having an ego or being self-centered and being confident, right? I think for me, confidence means to believe in your abilities, right? That's the first thing for me. Believe in your abilities, believe in your vision, and believe that you can do it, man. And I think how you portray to people is what makes people now distinguish if this is confidence or this is you being self-centered. You being self-centered, you're like, I can do everything. I'm the guy.
Yeah. Me this, me that.
Me that. You know, that's why
What if it's your own strategy to hype yourself up?
It can be. But
Right.
remember, let's say now you are looking at someone who wants to give you an opportunity.
Oh,
If
you've made out yourself as this guy who knows it all.
Exactly. So do you think that particular person?
No.
I think if you read, I think a book by Robert Greene, for the 8 Laws of Power, he talks about that element. Never outshine your master.
Never outshine your
Yes,
master.
yes,
I think
yes.
it's
that
number
part
what?
of it.
What number? Yeah.
I forgot what law it is.
Yeah.
But I think
It's basically acting or playing the part of a fool.
yes,
Just to
basically.
acquire.
Yes, just
Yeah,
to get there, get
yeah.
invited to the table. Then when you are there,
Ooh,
then now you
look
can
at it.
show
Yeah.
your position in the table.
I think you just summed it up. Crazy, man. Crazy.
So
Yeah.
I think people shouldn't be, scared to actually pursue what they want to pursue. Yes, we live in a world where you'll be discouraged. I was
course.
discouraged a lot, especially, going on LinkedIn and seeing someone with a master's degree in computer science and they're
you're
still
competing
looking
with
for
that.
yes, and they want the internship also. They need the internship for themselves also. And what do you have? I mean, you just have your own qualification that is far from what we're doing there.
Yeah.
And now you have to show the world that you can do it better than someone who did it formally.
Right.
So yeah,
It's crazy.
that's crazy.
Before off screen, right? Before
Yes.
the interview, we touched on something which we touched on even last time.
Yes.
Algorithm.
Yes.
Right. you just light it up whenever I touch that because I know like you have a lot to say on that.
Yeah. I think last time we did touch on algorithms and how they work, right? Especially in
What are the developments compared to what we touched on last time and to it right now? What you've seen?
because I think now AI has been involved in a lot of things right now. AI is rapidly, very quickly being integrated into existing systems to help them become
efficient,
be efficient,
faster,
become faster, and all of that. And now algorithms are just crazy now. And I think for layman's language, an algorithm is a set of rules.
Okay.
That's basically it.
All right.
Like there's nothing more.
Here,
Yes, you can be
here I was waiting for more.
So an algorithm is a set of rules of how to do something, right? For example, in maybe in mathematics, there's a way you calculate certain things.
Yes.
So those steps that you're following, that's an
algorithm.
Yes.
A pattern of some sort.
Yeah, a pattern of some sort of how to solve the problem. I know it becomes more technical and all of that. But on a basic level, an algorithm is just a way, steps in which you solve a problem or you do a certain thing, right? So you tell it, if you find this, do that or do that or do that in the situation, do that. So we touched on an example of how you are suggested particular content on your social media accounts. Yes. Depending on
just
what.
because you maybe clicked on one.
Yeah, I clicked on one.
Talking about one.
Yes. And I think now they are much crazier than they were before because
I'm telling you, right now, even audio is involved. A mere conversation.
Yes, a mere conversation.
Right, like in Khalili sneak, Khalili collab, or next thing collab pops up on your
I think I've noticed that a lot. Last time I was with a friend and we were talking about, I think, houses and stuff like that. And all of a sudden I was seeing Property 24.
It's crazy, man.
On my suggestions, when I was, on Chrome and all of the browsers, I'm like, hey, and what's happening? I think
real estate.
AI has been a huge part of the social media space also, because now you find that you'll watch, maybe for example, you'll view this shoe, for example, right? And all of a sudden you're seeing hundreds and thousands of the same kind of shoe, and it's crazy. And I think that AI is involved there, and it's basically, if you can explain how AI works, like AI is simply giving a computer a brain, a human brain.
Yeah, no, you can continue.
Okay. Yeah, you're giving AI a human brain, basically. I think in its simplest form, that's what you're doing, and you're exposing. Okay, you're exposing it to a large chunk of data.
Yeah.
So, for example, I think I once worked on. I was doing a data science course on IBM, right? Then while I was doing it, we had to give the large language model a lot of pictures of cats and a lot of pictures of dogs.
Okay.
So it can so it can differentiate between what is a dog and what is a cat. It's like a child.
Yeah.
For example, you show a child that this is a car,
this
is a house. Over time, they actually learn and they know what a car is, what a house is, and all of that. So even AI, you feed it with information and you give it parameters of this is what a cat looks like. You expose it to a lot of data related to cats. You give it another object, maybe a dog or a door or whatever. You give it that much of data. Then after that, you are training it. They call it training. So now you are training the model, right? After training the model actually knows what to do now. It can distinguish it. Yeah. That's why when you see Grok on Twitter, when you can
on
ask
X,
Grok anything, on X.
Yeah.
I still call it Twitter. Wow. Legacy systems. Formerly known as Twitter. X. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. So you ask it anything, because now it's being trained. It knows what this is and what that is.
And it's impressive, man.
It's very impressive.
I'm not a fan of X, but I tried it out. I tried the feature. It's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy.
It has changed. And I think now people ask Grok a lot of things.
Yes. And I think it has outgrown Meta in a way. I think I would go and say that. Like, I just threw myself in a limb.
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't
say that. But
because judging on, I think I'm judging Chrome. I'm judging Meta based off like your WhatsApp, Insta. It's
it's not. I feel like just because on remember the whole point of X was to allow free speech and all of that.
Yes.
So everything is it's like
That's the main
loosely
reason.
integrated.
Yeah, that's the main reason.
Yes, 'cause on-
Elon bought Twitter. Yeah.
Because on WhatsApp, there's a lot of security you need to consider
Oh.
because people have private conversations there
Okay.
and all of that, and it's not something that you can easily integrate into
Something like,
an app like
it's
WhatsApp.
more personal.
Yeah, it's more
WhatsApp
personal.
Is more,
Then
Instagram,
then X is more
Twitter
like
is vast.
yeah,
It's
it's
your
public.
It's your Facebook in a way.
Yeah, it's a Facebook.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think that's how it is. So I think AI has really changed.
Bruh.
Oh, it has.
It
Really
is
changed a
changing
lot
as
of
we are
things.
speaking right now.
There's a lot of AI tools. I even lost count. I don't even mind not knowing some of them
Right.
because there's just a lot of them. And I think the only thing that we should look at is how can AI work for you personally
Yes.
in whatever stream
Sphere that you are
Yes,
in. Like, is it school, business, where you are?
but do not rely on AI because now we are becoming lazy because of it.
Yeah.
You can ask it anything. You just ask.
Isn't it its job though?
It is. It
Yeah.
is. It is. But I feel like people now are becoming over reliant on it to a point where they don't have actual skills
Oh,
for
yes.
themselves. They use it so much that without it, it becomes a nightmare.
Ziyakhala.
And I think I like this new features that they've added. This deep think thing.
Oh,
I'm not
yes.
sure if you have used
I've seen
it
it.
before.
I've seen it. I haven't used it. I've seen it though. I've seen the feature.
Yeah, it's incredible. I use that a lot to learn a lot of new stuff with the work I'm doing.
It's what? Deep
think.
Think is the one, isn't it from China or something?
No, it's a feature. It's also on DeepSeek.
Okay.
DeepSeek is the
one
that-
from China, right?
from China. Yes.
And I think it was they said it was made at I think half the price of what ChatGPT is made on.
Yes. It was much cheaper to implement.
Might it be leaked technology though?
Well, there's still a debate.
Yeah.
I've seen people ranking them and
Yeah.
checking with what ChatGPT can do. And I think with DeepSeek, man, it's a
free.
cheaper option. Yes,
Yeah,
it's a
it's
cheaper
free.
option because it's free and
Reliable.
and
Efficient,
remember when you look at ChatGPT, when you want to use what do they call it? Is it O1, the one where you can upload pictures and do some complex stuff? Then
Yeah.
you get, I think, a number of 10 to 15 prompts. Then it tells you that come back after
Tomorrow, yeah.
tomorrow.
If
at
you haven't
this-
subscribed.
Yes,
Yeah.
it needs you to subscribe.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's expensive. And on DeepSeek, it's
You
unlimited.
just flow, man.
Yeah, it's really unlimited. So
Uh-huh.
that feature called Deep Think, I feel like it's a very great feature because when you click on it, it takes you through how the generative AI engine was processing your prompt. So you get to look at what
At
it
the
was
code.
thinking. Yes.
Oh.
No, not
Not
at
the
the code
code,
level,
yeah?
but what it was thinking.
Ooh.
Like how it came up with your
Wow.
response.
You get to see the whole process.
Yes, the whole process. So it tells you that, okay, the user, it starts there. The user is asking me
Wow.
if maybe this and this and this works or whatever the question is. Then let me think. It does a lot of reaction.
man.
It's talking
Yeah.
to itself basically, and it's
in its head.
Yes, it's figuring out a way to give you the response, and it's following steps. And I think that's where people miss it. I was looking at the steps it takes to solve the problem instead of the solution itself.
Okay.
So now I'm using the methodology it uses to solve problems into what I'm solving now.
The problem that wow. Okay. Instead of looking at the final result,
Yes.
you were fascinated by the build-up.
Yeah,
towards
by the
that.
build up towards the final result. Because for us in IT, whenever you build a solution, there's steps that you follow.
Of course.
There's a methodology of some sort.
I think in any sphere.
in any sphere, yes.
Yeah.
You start here, you go there, then you reach the result. So understanding how you outline your problem solving makes you more efficient in solving problems. And I think another thing that I've picked up, I think over the I know it's been a year and a couple
Right.
of months in the space, right?
It's been a time. Yeah.
But there's a lot I've learned, not only technically, but as soft skills like problem solving. Normally, I would rush to solving the problem. I would say, okay, this is the problem we're facing. Let me rush to solution mode, which is the wrong way to think about it. And you should always define the problem. Spend time into understanding the root of the problem. Don't treat the symptoms because sometimes because we rush,
Yeah.
we treat the symptoms. Then you find that that's the solution that you bring in has loopholes. Why it has loopholes is that you actually were solving for the symptoms instead of the root problem.
There's a phenomena called standing too close to an elephant.
Yeah.
Right. What it means is that when you're too close to an elephant, you can't see what you're standing, like what's in front of you.
Exactly.
Right. You can only see those weird gray lines. It is a point when you take a step back
and you
evaluate, and you're like, oh, that's an elephant.
Exactly. Problem solving is the same. I used to do that solution mode until I was like, oh, spend some time defining the problem, understanding it, then solving it. And when I was looking at that deep think thing, it was doing the same thing. And I was like, okay, if this thing is doing that, it means this is a perfect way to solve problems. Then use that to actually solve other problems. And now it's getting easier and easier.
Wow. I'm also thinking of another I don't want to say it analogy, but a phrase. This one, it's on God, it's on religion.
Yes.
So if you're going to pray for 60 minutes, spend 50 minutes praising God.
Wow. Yes.
Man, if you are going to pray for 60 minutes, spend the 50 minutes praising God.
And that one
then you just request whatever
you want.
And then you'll find that you've reached a certain level that you went before. And then because now you are focused on praising the bigger being, or focusing on the problem, since we are on that right now.
Yes.
And then understanding the problem.
Understanding it.
Then you find out the answer is just right in your face.
The solution is the easiest part. Defining the problem and understanding it is the hardest part.
Oh, man.
Even Einstein, I think once, I won't do a direct quotation, but he talked about solving the world, I think, in a minute, that he would spend something like 59 seconds trying to define the problem, then 1 second saving the world. See?
Because now you have all the variables.
Yes, you have everything. Now the only thing is to just execute. Right. And now if you try it the other way around, when you are going on solution mode, you go through trial and error. Try this, doesn't work out. And you spend more time than you would have spent defining the problem and just coming up with a solution.
Wow. Let's go back to AI working for you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
AI working for whatever business that you're doing. Right. Advise someone out there, someone who's studying, someone who's in business. Particularly, let's focus on prompts.
Prompts, yes.
I need us to focus on prompts. A lot of people are not familiar with prompts. I think we made a joke about people using ChatGPT as Google.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Just for you to look up certain things.
Look up, yes. They use it as a lookup.
Yes, and there's more to it.
There's really more to it. And I think the power lies into how you prompt it. I think we discussed this earlier off camera. And prompt engineering is a thing, actually.
It is.
And
it's said not everyone is familiar with it, though.
Not everyone is familiar with it. And
it's a career.
They actually hire people to become prompt engineers. Those people are very versed at understanding how to prompt correctly, how to ask the right question, because like ChatGPT has so much information that, you know, when you ask it a particular thing, you must be very clear, because it will just give you a big
broad,
chunk of information.
And you only need
and you just need that. Also, it can be biased at some point, because at some point, when people prompt, they're trying to validate their own ideas.
Yes.
And now it will give you what you want.
Right. And we touched on that off screen as well, that allowing it to play a certain role in your business or your career.
Exactly. For example, maybe you have a business problem that you don't know how to actually solve, or there's something that you need information about. Give it a role. Tell it that as a specialist of this, for example, maybe you are an accountant. You tell it as an expert in accounting. You can sometimes I also give it a years of experience to just boost its ego. Artificial ego, by the way.
No, good one.
Yeah. So I tell it that you have like 70 years of experience in all of this. You are well versed. You are an expert, right? And now when it responds to you,
it will want to evaluate using the 70 years.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
It will take the role of someone with that amount of experience to actually give you the correct thing. Whatever you do, make sure you give it a role.
Let's make it practical.
Yes.
This is the Black Mac podcast, and we are struggling with, let's say, views.
Yes.
Prompt ChatGPT as a director of the Black Mic podcast.
I think with that scenario at place, what you would do is to first let's first give it a role.
Okay.
Right? You are maybe, because AI now is actually like it's being updated every day.
Yes.
It doesn't have information from 2021. You remember when it first started, it will tell you that my information is limited to 2021.
Yeah.
Now it knows a lot of things and it can search through the web.
Yeah.
So what you can do, whatever podcast that is similar to what you have, let's put it that way, similar content, and it's doing extremely well. Just tell it that, do you know this podcast called so and so?
X, yeah.
Yes, they are doing so well in getting a lot of views, engagements, and all of this. I have a podcast, and explain how yours is set up, right? And say, I'm struggling to get views, right? I'm struggling to promote it. I'm struggling to monetize most of the stuff. Be specific. This is what I want, and this is what I want. Then tell it, give me some advice on those particular areas, and list those areas one by one. Don't just say, give me advice.
Yes.
Because
ask it to be critical analysis.
Yes, critical analysis, and tell it in point form to say, okay, in terms of views, what can I do? That is similar to what they are doing. And so that it can boost.
So it uses whatever podcast X as a reference. Okay.
So it will look through all of those videos, and it will look at how they even have their captions on, because also captions attract, they attract people. And now people are using a lot of people that have podcasts are using ChatGPT to come up with those things, right?
Taglines,
and all of that, so that it's catchy, right? So you tell it that. So for views, please give me advice on views. Then give me advice on whatever other thing that you are into. Then after doing that, it will give you the prompt step by step. It will tell you that, okay, I see this podcast. It will tell you about that podcast, what they are doing, and what you should be improving on. Or you can even tell it to also look yours up.
Of course.
To see, what am I doing wrong?
Critically analyze this podcast.
Critically analyze it,
Wow,
and give me some advice on it.
No. And this also applies to you, whatever sphere that you are in. You're in logistics, finances, media, what.
And take your time, man.
Right.
Take your time to write your prompt. People are rushing to write prompts. You want because our generation, we get things very quickly, and we don't want to spend time.
Someone once said we are a 2 minutes
we are
generation.
Yes, we are. We want instant things.
Yeah.
We want it like this. I'm also like that at some point. Everyone
I think it's because
like
of what we are exposed to, the technology at which we are exposed to, how things are done.
Yeah.
My man, you can be in Sentin right now. I'll just text you. You're a text away.
Yeah.
Like you're a call away.
That's why you get frustrated when you call someone and they don't answer. You're like, you have a phone. You always have your phone. Like, why are you not answering your phone?
Funny. Funny enough, with someone who's behind the scene right now.
Yeah.
We're using one of the laptops. So we have this other laptop, which is like super like quality, like high graphic card and all of that. And then we
high
have
performance,
this. Yes, we have this other one.
So, other one. 4 gig RAM, I'm supposing.
Right.
Yes. yeah.
So
that
trying
memory.
to refresh.
Yeah.
Right. You've clicked refresh and then you're waiting. And mind you, we are not waiting for like minutes or so. It's just seconds, but seconds longer than the other one, right?
Yeah.
But that alone is also frustrating.
It is. For me, I will never go back to a laptop that has a 4 gig RAM. Come on, that memory is it's
Shots fired.
Sorry guys, but because you can't have it's like you go into this new era.
Our producer, are you okay?
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man.
It's saying 16 gig. Last time I checked, it was 4.
Oh, it's saying 16. If your PC has an extra slot, I have a RAM.
Yeah. Please
can install it. Yeah.
Plug in.
3 slots.
Plug someone there, please.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, that is a typical example of how we are that generation that wants things quickly.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of things that are quick are being monetized and they are making a lot of money.
Yes.
Convenient. We call it convenience.
Yeah. Convenience. Now, man, you have groceries being delivered to your place.
You, and
see,
it's so fascinating how technology is, man. And at this scale, it's really astonishing.
Yeah.
There was this other time. It was my first time using a virtual desktop. I was amazed.
A virtual desktop.
Yes, I was amazed,
Okay.
man. I was amazed. So what happens is, you see your physical machine, which is your laptop that you have. It's like you have a laptop inside another laptop. So a computer inside another computer.
Okay.
So what happens is that there's a computer somewhere, right? And you are looking at that computer through a window. That's the example that I'm going to give you. That computer, they call it a virtual machine, right? The virtual desktop. They are virtual machines, all of them. So what happens is that they have their own operating system. They have their own RAM within. So it might be even quicker than
I've never heard
your.
of it.
You've never heard of it. So the first time I used it, I was so amazed that I'm here and I can be able to utilize another computer that is quite faster than mine. Where I'm typing my hardware, my physical machine, and it's actually greater than it. It has more power, right? And it's hosted on the cloud. Wow. It's hosted on the cloud. It was very fascinating how technology can get. It means we can buy just, for
your mere laptop
and then have your virtual
it.
and access it through that. Normally they use that for work from home environments so that you can
to avoid spending much money for having multiple devices.
Besides that, it's more secure because
everything's on the cloud.
Yes, and everything is on that in that computer. It's not on your physical computer. So even the data is there. So you can't move it out. You can't do anything. So it
end-to-end encryption of some sort.
Yes, you keep it there, like it's locked in, right? The folder that you have on that virtual desktop is different from your original folders. And at some point, because the virtual machine, the virtual desktop that we're using had the same Windows operating system as my. So at some point, I couldn't tell which one was my. Which one was mine? It was really interesting.
It must boost. I think it might boost your ego as well, and thinking like, this is my laptop.
This is mine, and you realize now you're looking at it on a window, and it's actually interesting. The cloud is interesting, and it's something that I would also encourage people to get into. Cloud computing is amazing. Cloud computing.
Please, let's close the issue because you and I, man, in fact, you alone. Let me not take credit. You alone. Let's look at let's close the prompt side of things, right? Because I think we touched on that and we
deviated.
Yes. Let's sum it up and close it for someone. For a young person out there, right? Because we are all, I think by now we should be exposed to ChatGPT. We are, right? I would like to think yes. And then how do we make the most out of it? We did mention giving it a role.
Yes.
Let's look at prompting. Let's look at prompting it, like effectively prompting it.
And there's also some, speaking of prompting, there's also some, what do they call it? What do they call this thing? It's a I forgot the term. It's like a template, right?
Okay.
That I also saved it. I'm also using that template to actually have this prompt. So that template gives you all the kind of prompts that you can give to ChatGPT. The only thing you do, you just change the subject of what you're asking it.
Wow.
So it gives you a lot of conversations, a lot of prompts, how to prompt properly. Then you just copy those sentences, you paste it on ChatGPT.
Where did you get that?
I got it from LinkedIn. There was this other guy. He's big on generative AI, right? Especially your ChatGPTs and all of those. And I think he came up with that document that has all the different types of prompts. I think you can also use that if you are someone that is struggling to actually, because we can't all be good at prompting.
Of course.
That's why there's prompt engineers.
And one of the issues that we face right now, we have a lot of people who are offering solutions, but they are not being practical as to how to do this.
Yes.
Because that's why I requested that we go back to this. Like for someone at home, saying, give it a role. What role? Like how?
Yes. And I think with roles, I think as I explained, you give it a role of a seasoned professional or whatever you're asking it, and be specific, be concise about what you want, right? tell it exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Don't beat up around the bush, and take your time also. As we were
Time,
talking,
yes, we did
take your
mention
time,
yeah.
and think critically about what you about to ask it, and don't overload it with information. You can't ask it 10 things in one prompt. Obviously, the quality is going to be affected. That's why it does this thing of, I normally when I prompt it, right, I know what I'm about to prompt next, but after it gives me the response, it says, would you also like to? You see that?
Yes.
So it's actually telling you that actually this is how you prompt it. You give it this. It knows that you're probably thinking about something, of asking it something else.
Yes.
So rather it focus on one a part of the conversation or of one part of what you're asking it, then over to the next, over to the next. Then at the end,
structure,
with me, sometimes in tech, you'll find that there's a lot of tools that you use that are separate and you don't know how they integrate together. Even ideas are like that. When you're asking it about your business, you're asking it about maybe your sales, how you improve your marketing and all of that. At the end, tell it, please sum up everything. Sum up everything. How does everything work together for the overall success of the business? So now it will say, okay, recapping on what I told you. You remember when I said 1, 2, 3? You can now use that and it will benefit that other part, and it will just bring everything together. The same question you're asking me, that sometimes people don't know how to go about things. You know, just tell it, give me practical steps. If it doesn't give you that, tell it, baby me. Act as if I'm a 13-year-old. Sometimes you can give that, or 14-year-old, or 16-year-old. So that it can give you the lowest level of explanations. Yes. Wow. I think that's what we must do in terms of prompt engineering.
I hope it's Zvile to another side. Zvile, mina specific.
Yeah. That's great.
Let me pick your mind on this. We also touched on this, right?
Yes.
We are just doing a recap of some sort and then looking at where things are even right now.
Yes.
The economy.
Yeah, tough one.
Right. The industries. Right. You made a brilliant example last time about the cups that we had, like this one. I
remember that. Yeah.
Right.
And that was on the spot. I actually watched.
Dude, that was brilliant, man.
I actually watched it and I was like, how did I make so much sense?
Dude, and it did. I'm telling you, I'm using that analogy everywhere. Like when it comes to explaining industries and this is a cup. Feeding to this cup. Brilliant.
Yes. The economy is a very complex thing, and I think making those examples like the one I made of the cups makes it much easier to understand, because hiding behind this big term won't help anyone.
Yes.
Right? You'll find the expert telling you the MPC, which is the monetary police, they said they're practicing a restrictive monetary policy. What does that mean to an ordinary person? You know, even judgments in court. I get so pissed when they give like this big
jargons.
And now the public is thinking the judgment meant this, and actually it didn't mean that. And now we are protesting over nothing now.
Yeah,
you know? So I feel like even economics, right, as we are touching the state of the economy, I feel like they should try and for people that actually are not used to that sort of industry, so that they can understand what it means.
Because all in all, they are saving the masses. They are saving the people. So you can't confuse the people that you are saving.
Exactly. People telling you, we increase the repo rate. An ordinary person doesn't know what repo rate is, and doesn't know. The only thing they know is that they get messages from West Bank and Standard Bank and all of them telling you you'll pay a higher premium next month because they've increased the repo rate. And the person is asking themselves, why? What is the repo rate? What is the role of the central bank and affecting other banks and all of that? People don't understand. Right? People don't understand. Even this recent. I think the governor was talking about limiting reducing the inflation targeting, because remember inflation was targeted at 3 to 6%, right? And now they want to reduce it. I was astonished. I was like, well, what does that mean now? Yes, we have seen a lot of decreases in terms of the CPI, which is the customer price index. What is it in layman's terms? I forgot the term. What is it called again? Why am I call it CPI now? Customer Price Index. It's general increase in prices of items. It's your inflation. Sorry, it's inflation. Yes, that's the normal term.
See,
that's the normal term.
You're also falling victim into this.
I'm falling victim to this. So when people look at it, when they announce the figures quarterly, they tell you that it has increased by 2%, which the target is 3 to 6%, which when we look at it, it's like, oh, no, that's great. That's great. I mean, if it's not above 6 or within, it means we're
in the parameter.
Yeah, it's still there, right? And now them talking about actually reducing that targeting band to being lower. I don't know what that means for the economy, because now it would mean that now the anything above 3, the threshold. If now the threshold is 2 to 3, for example, I'm not sure what the official one is.
What about the lower income citizen and all of that?
I don't know what it means for them. So when they're explaining it, they're very technical about it, right? They're very technical about it. How does it affect an ordinary South African? Right? Yeah. And if you look at now,
which is 80 something of the population.
Exactly. And we are dependent on social grants. Yeah. It's very painful too. I didn't even know that is it the unemployment grants. I didn't even know that they're still there.
They're still there. Dude, I was shocked.
I was also shocked.
When was it announced? I think it was announced that they'll continue. Remember, they were supposed to stop after.
Yes.
I think it was lockdown. I think after the COVID thing, it was supposed to stop. I think it was 2020. Looking at 2021, I think 2021 or 20.
Yeah, because the COVID periods were there, right?
Yeah, I think 2022, roughly. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and I think during that time, I thought maybe it's something for COVID.
I don't think there was a formal announcement, though, of them continuing. Was there?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that information, but
because it was announced during lockdown by the president, rather, that he will roll out these grants. And then them continuing, I don't know. I don't remember that. Even increased.
Wow.
So it was 350, right? And how much is it now?
370.
Wow.
You see, and now you should, as an ordinary South African, ask yourself this: where is the money coming from? The money that is supporting those people.
Yeah.
And it's a good initiative because people are not working. Our unemployment rate is crazy, especially amongst young people. I don't look at the official one of everyone. Yeah. I look at the one
future,
for the
man.
youth. Yes,
the future,
because people are actually not working and it's painful.
It is.
As I said last time, using the cups analogy, that if we're not building enough industries, and I feel like we're building more malls than factories,
man, which is primitive. We've seen that it does not work, especially where this generation is headed or the times at which we are at right now.
Exactly.
Analog, man, it's just not taking us anywhere. And then building more malls.
I feel like what we are saying that we are building, we are trying to have a society that is based on consumption, not on production.
Oh.
Because now
repeat that. Oh man. A society that is
based on consumption rather than production. We're not producing enough. And if you don't produce enough, you remember GDP is how much you produce. It's not how much you consume.
Yeah. It's also a cry to young people as
well.
Out there. Like it's a cry of, I don't understand as if I'm against jobs, works and all of that, work rather, but opening industries.
Yes,
right?
New industries.
That way you're also creating employment. Right?
Yeah. And you're creating a lot of support for the people that are creatives also. People in multi-industries, not everything should be about being an accountant, being an IT professional, being a doctor, being, some people are creative. Like the rise in podcasts now.
It's those crazy,
Yes. And I heard, I'm not sure, that people don't actually get paid in South Africa for TikTok.
Dude.
How?
Bruh.
How is that possible? How is that? People are creating gang content.
Yes, they're saying a beta version of that is coming. Still coming.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, so
it's great.
Right. It's not great though. I think it was supposed to be there in a corner from the get-go.
People are making money.
Right, because we have
people are making money.
I think I stand to be corrected on this, but we have the largest, I think, views overall, or in terms of people who use TikTok in Africa, South Africa alone specifically. I think we are the leading one. I think Nigeria would be second in that, in everything that South Africa does. Right? Forgive me.
What a punch.
So,
we are the most developed country in the continent.
And then for a country that is leading in the continent, for it to be getting such programs, it's crazy, because a lot of young people are pushed into this, not pushed, are attracted, are drawn into the space of being a creative.
Yes. And they're doing like brilliant. They're doing a brilliant job.
You have young people who are catering to different audiences. You want the news, you have the most entertaining way of receiving the news from TikTok.
Yes.
Right, from YouTube, from whatever. You like music, you like politics, you have. See, there's even this one. I think he's on ENCA right now. I think it's Dean something like this white.
Oh,
person.
yes.
It started off from TikTok.
Yeah, that guy. Yes,
now he
guy.
has a slot on ENCA, giving us the news in the most funny way and relatable way possible.
And I like how he portrays it.
He was also covering
how he orchestrates it. Yeah,
right. He was also covering the Afiforum thing.
He was very brutal there.
And I always like it when white people are bashing on other white people.
And you know, in South Africa, I mean, man, we are a rainbow nation.
We are a rainbow nation,
guys. Why are we
in the fullest sense of the word?
Why do we have to be against each other,
man? Especially with wrong narratives.
Yes, exactly.
Let's look at this issue of these Afrikaners that went to
the United States.
To the United States.
Yes.
Okay. And niyahamba nithi niyahlukunyezwa. Nithi nithathelwa iland
yes.
Based off a lie. I think isukela ku Afiforum yonke lento le.
Yeah. And you know, when you look at that, it's very painful that there's narratives that are being pushed. Man. And they're like something that are not even related to the cause are being used to support it.
Exactly.
Right? And
I was disappointed when President Trump took it out of context by taking out the videos
the Malema video. Yes, Julius Malema's video.
I'm like,
and in fact, if you look at, because it was reported on the news, I think there was this lady, they interviewed her, I forgot her name.
Mm-hmm.
This lady was talking about statistics that ever since that song has been sang,
mm-hmm.
right? And I'm not defending it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe some certain group of people, like, they feel like it's a direct attack on them, right?
Yes.
Which I think they should settle it in a way, but they shouldn't use it as to enable a particular narrative, right? Yeah. And that lady was talking about that there's no correlation between
the song,
and the number of people being killed in farms.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
mm-hmm.
And it's across the board, as John Robert also said it on at the Oval Office. Remember when he talked about?
And I was also shocked. Why was he there? He there as a businessman or also a delegate of?
I'm not quite sure.
Exactly.
I'm not quite sure his role, but I liked the way.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
Pure patriotism.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just said it as it is, that this thing is happening across the board.
It is.
We have a crime problem in our country.
We don't have a racial problem.
We have a crime
problem.
We have a crime problem in our country, and
oh man,
and it also stems from poverty,
lack of
unemployment, and all these societal issues that we face as a country.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that stems from our past, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We can't forget that.
We
won't forget that, right?
Yeah.
We come from a certain past.
It's said that we are expected to. It's like, move on.
Exactly.
And like you were not there.
Exactly. And we are comfortable in saying, okay, this happened, right? But now we are moving forward.
Yes.
But in us moving forward, yes, acknowledgement. Okay, yes, this happened. It was painful for us.
But it set us back, no?
Yes, it did. It did.
You know what? This happened, and please acknowledge it, right?
Yes.
That it's fine. You may not feel a certain way against a certain group of people, like a certain ethnicity and all of that.
Yes.
But you benefited, though. one way or the other, you benefited from what had happened in the past. And then one way or the other, we suffered from, we are still suffering from what had happened then. It can be psychological, it can be opportunities
yes, as well. Yes. And looking at that, Mfethu, now we're trying to establish, we're trying to lay out a fair ground for everyone.
Yes.
And we are not against any race. I, for one, believe in unity as South Africans. We are all South Africans, black, white, colored. We are, man. And all of these different races, different languages, 11 official languages, 12
the
with
only,
sign language.
I think the only country in the entire world with official languages.
Yes.
Mind you,
official.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say like the only country with 11 languages. I'm saying 11 official languages.
Yes. It speaks to our diversity, man. And all of that. You'll find a white person in America maybe being interviewed, and you'll hear that accent. You'll say, this is
from
South
home.
African.
Like,
This is from home.
What the heck?
What the heck? You know, it's so nice to see.
Bruh.
And that's the culture that we should have. We should be among like close to each other and actually living together and achieving our goals, helping each other with fixing our country, building it to becoming a better country, not these racial wars that are meaningless.
Yes. I feel like we're headed in the right direction, right?
Yes.
We're moving. I still believe we are. Right?
Yeah.
This is just a hurdle. This
Yes,
is
it's
just
just a hurdle,
small thing that is just
yes,
there
correct.
and
To stabilize.
yes, us young people, man, we acknowledge ukuthi it was there lento leyo yenzekile, but we are trying by all means to say let's move. We have white friends, we have
Exactly.
right,
Exactly.
we have friends. Yes, they are friends.
We don't even care about the color of a person's skin.
Bruh.
So why should
And then you have this group, like this group specifically, that is pushing a wrong narrative.
And even some of the people that identify themselves as Afrikaners, some of them, they don't care even about this.
Exactly.
They just want us to live peacefully.
Dude, I was scrolling on TikTok that
yes, they
I'm like,
want us to live peacefully.
I saw this white person like, except America.
You see, like, guys,
Dude, as South African, we laugh about everything, man. We laugh about everything.
Even when COVID hit, we made jokes about it.
Our president's name his nickname is Cupcake. Dude, the only nation I think in the world, bro. And he knows his nickname, like, hey, Cupcake.
He acknowledges it and he laughs when he hears it.
Dude, he's South African. We are South Africa, bro. We laugh in the midst of trial and tribulations, and that's how we cope with certain things.
Yeah, exactly. And now I feel like this issue should be actually clarified, and everything should be set to Pook that there's nothing like that, right? And if they have issues, sit down. That's that's what the president said. Let's sit down and discuss our problems and come up with solutions.
Don't push a wrong narrative to the world.
Fix the crime problem, fix the unemployment problem, fix the economy, everything, and everything will be well.
And it's also disappointing to the world leaders as well.
Exactly.
For them not to see the facade and the whole wrong information that is being pushed.
Yeah.
Right. Let's leave that. Just put this in claw. Let's just because it's getting me worked up right now because we are all South Africa, man. We are all South Africans.
Yes, right? Yes, correct.
Automation. Right. Let me trigger you. See, I'm touching on topics. First of all, what is that? We touched on the two ways of that and beef off screen, right?
Yes.
Please elaborate on that. Break it down, though.
Yes. So automation for me, I think in layman's language, automation is
in layman's language. How many times have you used that word today?
I hear that a lot at work. So during meetings,
like in layman's language.
Yeah. So in layman's terms, corporate. It can get you.
We will address this matter.
Yes. So automation in its simplest form is practically when you have a manual process, right, of doing things. Let's say you do this, then the next step is to do that and that and that. Obviously, you're doing these things manually. And remember, when doing something manually, the risks are, number one, it takes time. It takes time to implement, to finish the whole thing, right? Number two, it's prone to error. I mean, if you do one thing for a lot of time. You make mistakes. You start not doing it.
You become complacent.
Yes, you become complacent. That's the correct term. And you get tired at some point, and you just, when you normally with me, and make an example, when I wash my sneakers, the first one to be I will see that one. Yeah, the first one will be super clean. Then when I get to the fourth one, you can see I'm starting to.
As long as it's into our minds.
Yeah, I'm like, hi, man.
It's not that bad though, if you look at it. It's not that bad.
So automation addresses manual processes. It says, okay, I have a manual process doing this, and it takes time. And something that takes time, remember, it takes money.
Oh yes,
it takes a lot of money, and it's prone to a lot of error.
Yes.
So what automation brings to the table is saying, okay, how can we streamline the process? How can we make it efficient, right? Efficient, eliminating the risk of having making mistakes, right? Eliminating.
We made an example about the Coca-Cola.
Yes. There's this advert, this famous advert where like you see, one is closing the bottle, and one is pouring the Coke inside the bottle. Like that's what we call automation, right? And there's automation for industry, where like in factories and stuff. Then there's automation in software as well.
Right.
So what automation does is making a process easier to implement, quicker, and also less prone to issues or mistakes.
Wow.
Right. That's automation at its most basic form.
Yeah.
Right. And what it brings, it revolutionizes the way things are being done. Even now, even cars, automation is evident in assembling cars and all of that.
Yes.
I mean, you see these big machines putting in tires. They're just there doing everything. It's crazy. So
in record time as well.
In record time, yes. And they can produce a lot. And if you like for you to actually see the benefit of automation is when you look at how it was done before and how it is done now.
Yes.
Look at the time, look at the cost, and look at how many mistakes were done on the other side, and how many mistakes are now being done on automation.
But
yes, okay. Which is obviously like last time when I made that example of the mathematicians
calculator,
the calculator.
And that made me laugh.
They were protesting literally. We don't want this, So I think as people, what we must do is to say, okay, if as we are seeing automation is becoming the go-to thing in industries, what we must do is to upskill and now try and learn how to actually make be relevant, even if the automation is still there. Because what automation does, it doesn't automate everything.
Oh yes.
Yeah, like it doesn't automate everything. There is manual process involved still, because those machines, they need to be repaired.
Yeah.
Yes. They need to be configured in a certain way to suit the particular thing that they're doing, the particular task they're doing. They need to be monitored, right? For effectiveness. There are checks that are being done.
Yes.
So people must actually find a way around it, right? Because as much as we can say, let's hold back on automation, let's hold back on tech doing most of the stuff, it leads us to doing stuff manually, mistakes, high costs. Because remember, the higher the cost of producing something, even the price of the finished product will be higher.
It's going to be more expensive.
So it's going to be more expensive. So what automation does, it makes the price easier and quicker.
Yes, we've done that throughout time. I don't know why with AI and technology right now we become scared. We are adaptive beings as humankind.
Yes,
as the human race.
We are. And sometimes I feel like sometimes some people, I don't blame them, actually, the backlash that they have, because at some moment you knew that I'll be doing this job for the rest of my life.
Yes.
And all of a sudden the tables are turned, and now it's clicking that no, I might lose my job because of this.
Something is efficient, fast.
Yes. And I feel like companies, and a lot of them are doing it. They upskill their people for the jobs of the future. And that process of saying, okay, I used to do this way, and now a computer will do it, or certain machines will be doing my job basically. And how do I now keep relevant to the same job?
Yes.
Now we're thinking about decision making now. that's the next job. Like, how do we actually make this thing sufficient? As we know that this thing is now happening at a faster rate, more efficient, but how do we promote it more? How do we make it to be something that avoids a lot of mistakes that are there, streamlining it, making sure that everything is well. Those are the jobs that you'll find that there's a facilitator of some sort. There's there's something, there's always something that comes out of that automation stuff.
Yes. And I think also what makes people right now more reluctant as to adapt is the time. It's the rate.
Yeah, it's the rate at which this thing is happening.
Yes, because by way back, you knew, okay, one day, but it's like, one day, it's like the next 20, 30 years.
Yeah,
right now, everything is just
for the implementation. Yes. Now it's rapid.
It's rapid.
It's very quick. And if you are not quick enough, you fall off. It's like natural selection. The species that do not really have the desired trait, they die. They starve and die.
Who's that? Is it Lamarck or Darwin?
It's Darwin. It's Darwin with the natural selection technology. Yes.
Lamarck is something else. Let us not touch on that.
Yeah, let us not touch on that. But automation brings that. It brings a lot of opportunities. Even now. At some point, and we used to laugh about this with my friends. We were saying some people are complaining that technology is taking their jobs, and they themselves are finding convenience in the technology.
Of course,
and they don't know which people are being impacted by that. They only complain when it's directed to them. So now they would be like, now stuff is being delivered to me. Oh, that's good. They don't think about how it affects the next person. Yes.
Are you saying that?
I think if it hasn't touched you, you have this thing. Hi man, can't complain a lot.
When it hits home, the technology
you start being on that. So, yeah.
And we've touched on a lot of things. We've touched on also what you can do in the technological space, right? Now you have acquired whatever that you've acquired. You have a degree in whatever that you have. You have a qualification in whatever. Boot camps now.
Yes.
How do you make your way into whatever industry that you wanna go into?
So I think this boot camp structures. It's something we needed 2 years back. Like I wish we had boot camps way back, because what I like about boot camps is that they are more practical than theoretically based. Formal education is always theory.
Yes.
Then boot camps,
there are many ways of learning.
Yeah, there are many ways of learning. And I think boot camps are not for everyone, by the way. Boot camps want someone who's very disciplined into actually finishing the boot camp, because we can all start on the boot camp. And when you look at the people that actually finish the boot camp, there's a few that finish the boot camp, because now, everyone has this thing, or when you're starting something, you are very excited.
Yeah.
Then the whole journey now takes a toll on you. It speaks to your character. It speaks to what you want.
Are you resilient?
Yes. Are you resilient enough to see it through? And I think let me just drop a few boot camps that people can go to, especially if they are. I'm mostly, guys, don't say like I'm pushing technology much or tech, but that's something that I'm well versed in and passionate about. So that's why
that's
know
what we call you.
Yes. So to the tech community,
exactly.
To the tech community, there's a program called Umuzi.
Okay.
So what Umuzi does, they give you a learnership program, right, of doing a particular program within tech, because tech is big. There's cloud, there's data science, there's data analytics, there's software engineering, there's front end or back end, which is just separating the whole software development thing. So what Umuzi does, you pick a track that you want, you pick a particular specialization that you want to specialize in. You apply for it. I think what is required is someone with a matric, right? Matric certificate, 18 years or older, obviously. That is
the bare minimum.
Bare minimum. That's the bare minimum. And it also, I think what you do is fill in a form There's an online form that you fit your name, where you come from, if you have a qualification, what qualification did you do, your metric, of course. You say if you have a criminal record or not. Then you also say, well, if you do, you also explain why. It gives you an opportunity, right? It doesn't say if you don't, then you're off the road. No, it's not shy. Then you'd need to write a test. There's a test, they call it an aptitude test. Yes, you write that test. I think that test, it's not a determining factor, but it's a huge chunk of the decision, right? I think you do the test for about 2 hours, 1.5. I don't remember, but I once took the test. Right? You take the test, then if you have a good score, like make sure like you're in the top, you're in the top ranks in terms of passing that test. Then that gives you an opportunity for you to be enrolled in that bootcamp. And what they do is there's a specific period. Sometimes it's 12 months, 9 months. Depending on the specialization you're taking, right? Then during those months, they give you hands-on skills. I think some come with an NQF level 5 formal qualification. Yes, they give you those qualifications. And then after that, they have a large community of companies that they work with. So you have an opportunity to be placed actually in internships, in entry-level jobs. So it doesn't leave you
with just the skill alone.
You know, it actually gives you an opportunity to get into industry. It bridges the gap between getting the skills and getting a job. They help you. They help you with your CV, career advice, and all of that. So that's what Umuzi is doing. And now they have a new program of putting also SAP. There's this technology called SAP. It's a platform that does practically everything in organizations. I won't explain that. It's very technical.
It's crazy,
it's crazy. It's for another time, right? So they also have that in their books. And even if you have a qualification, it's fine. It's just that the entry level is metric, so you can do Umuzi or at umuzi I think it's .com. Like people can just write Umuzi on your browser. Then you'll find it. Then just apply if you're interested in tech. Then another one, I think this one is popular now. I think everyone knows it. ALX Africa. You know it. You know it, but we won't get into
Let's
detail.
not touch on that.
Because
I'm guilty. I'm
guilty. So in terms of that, there's ALX.
You know it very well.
You know it very well.
Hey.
It's intense. One thing I can tell you with ALX, it's very intense. So if you have a job or you're in school, you need
hours
decent,
and hours.
Decent time management skill, right? You need to plan out your work and you need to be willing to do it. So ALX has a lot of programs, data science, cloud computing. I think now there's also cybersecurity. They added cybersecurity. It's a new track now. Then there's also front end, back end development, data analyst, data science. All of those things.
I recommend that.
They're there.
I recommend ALX.
Yeah, ALX is good.
It's very good.
It's good. It's very good, and it has a large community as well. And there's a lot of people.
I was about to add on that. It feels intimate. Yeah.
Yes. Because now you are not just on your own, but your peers are there. People that are doing the same thing. You communicate. You have projects together that you build. So it's nice. It's nice. But now you actually pay. Before it was a fully paid scholarship, right? So now it's still a scholarship when you apply, right? But you have to pay. I think it's $5 per month. So depending on the course that you are taking, because I think cloud computing is about 10 months, then data science is 13 months. So for the 13 months that you'll be there in,
$5
then $5 per month. Then you can also exchange that and see how much it will cost you. So per month is like, and some months you get lucky. With me, I've been lucky for the past 2 months because now the rand was doing very well. So the exchange rate favored me at some point. But I think you can expect to pay 80 rands, 90 rands, close to 100 rand. Per month. Per month.
Max being
max, yes. But I don't think you're gonna pay 200 unless the rand is really it's really depreciating. So ALX is also one. Then another one I think that people can look at, and one thing about boot camps, there's a lot of them for ladies. women in tech. Once you see that
they are in
hashtag,
demand. Yeah.
they're in demand.
Come on, ladies. Yeah.
And ladies are afraid of tech for some reason. Ladies, why? Like, why are you afraid of tech? And tech needs you. Like, they need to balance,
Yeah, because it's mostly men,
male
dominated
industry. So women should also be part of it, right? It's not a thing of men know tech better than women. No, women can also take that opportunity, and there's a lot of opportunities for women actually. There are boot camps specifically for ladies. Like, they don't want you. I will. They don't want you in I want
all right.
I once tried applying.
Yeah.
And on the gender.
What if you mean?
Once I said male, it actually gave you the option. It was like male or female.
Yeah.
And I said male, and underneath it was like, this is strictly for women. I couldn't continue.
Crazy.
So yes, there are those programs. Yeah, it's Alex, Umuzi, and why am I forgetting the other one? And you can also do courses on Coursera. Coursera is still relevant, of course. Yeah, Coursera is good also. One thing I don't like about Coursera though is peer reviews. I hate peer reviews because now you must wait for someone to review your work now.
Yes.
And maybe you want to just finish your course. Like
just move.
Time is against you. And now you have to wait for someone to review. Sometimes a person can give you a bad mark on something that is actually the truth. So that model of them, I don't like it. I feel like they should just put an AI tool of some sort that just looks at your assignment and says, okay, this person has met the requirements, then they passed or they failed.
Yeah.
Because this thing of peers and stuff, sometimes it's really frustrating. So Coursera is still there, and there are some programs that are there. I recently joined the one called CNS. Yes, it's for cloud computing and cybersecurity. So those guys, that particular bootcamp is amazing.
Yeah.
At first when I was applying, I wasn't sure because it was the first time, right? Then last week we had a session on Saturday, and on that session, it actually opened my eyes. Those guys are really doing some impressive stuff. So if someone wants to go through a bootcamp, they can look at those. Right? They train you. Some have certifications, and also some help you get a job, which is the important part.
Yeah, it's very key rather than just acquiring a skill and not having
using it. But also do your personal projects. I'm always saying that personal projects can get you there. Yeah, unique projects actually that speak to you.
Yeah, because it also played a huge role in you as well.
It did. A person clicking on your
and then they see what
you've done. You present them the work you're doing. So
wow, my guy, you know what? I think Nana must cool, man. So we
won't stop.
Thank you so much, man, for coming.
Thanks, man. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
And shout out to our fans as well, to our listeners and viewers. For calling out your name to come back again.
Yeah, thank you guys. Hopefully you'll call me again.
Dude, you are the front of the show.
Thank you.
I think right now we'll make it an interval. After 2 years, you have to come back.
After 2 years, I come back. Yes.
You know what? It has been Samukelo Mnguni, and I've been your host, Ayabulela Manzingboy. We've touched on a lot of things: technology, automation, economy. You name it, we've tried our best to touch on it.
Yes.
I've been your host once again. It has been the Black Mic Podcast. My guy, thank you so much, man.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for taking time.
Guys, I like what you are doing. I absolutely love it and continue doing it.
Right.
And I hope just the viewers at home and just guys, watch those videos. Let's promote this.
Right.
This is a homegrown podcast, so let's make sure, guys, that we put it on the map.
Right.
So keep on sharing, keep on doing everything for it. Push it until the algorithm agrees to it.
It has been the Black Mic Podcast.
Thank you.